We should talk about the D-Day commemorations yesterday because there were lots of very moving moments. But today we've got this story about Rishi Sunak, and it's gone really, really badly wrong for him because he was at the commemorations, and we will see what the general scenes in a moment. But I just want to talk about Sunak because he left early to go to do a TV interview, Jess.
It's not looking good, is it?
He's had to apologise now.
I think D-Day, especially big 80-year anniversary, possibly his last one as a Prime Minister, and he dips out early to do a TV interview. I think it's a bit disrespectful. I don't know who advised him on that, but I think it was the wrong choice. So
he's now tweeted, and this is why it's big news this morning, because he's actually properly apologised. He says the 80th anniversary was a profound moment. It should be about those who made the ultimate sacrifice, and the last thing I want is for the commemorations to be overshadowed by politics. I care deeply about veterans. I've been honoured to be there. And then he says, right at the end, after the conclusion of the British event in Normandy, I returned to the UK. On reflection, it was a mistake not to stay in France longer, and I apologise. Leader of the Liberal Democrats, Ed Davey, one of the greatest privileges of Prime Minister is to be there to honour those who served, yet Rishi Sunak abandoned them on the beaches of Normandy. It is a total dereliction of duty, and it shows why this Conservative government has to go. So he's really gone over the top on that, Angela.
Yeah, he's a bit desperate. He's a bit.
You're talking about David?
No. I think Jess is absolutely right. It's not just that it was the last opportunity potentially as a Prime Minister. It was probably the last milestone D-Day anniversary where veterans of those who stormed the beaches and turned the tide of the Second World War will be present.
And do you know what he went back for?
He went back for an ITV interview.
To do an ITV1 interview.
I think ITV have even said themselves that this was the date that they were given, and they were a bit like, that's random. Like, why is that the day that you're saying you're free to come back on D-Day when you should be out in Normandy?
Well, it's not their fault. I mean, everyone's piling in. A Twitter, Damon Evans, put on X at the going down of the sun, Rishi will be on ITV1. I hate to say it, but it looks like it's game over, this election for him, doesn't it?
I don't. If this is what makes people decide whether to vote Conservative or not, or to vote Labour or whatever it is, then they're not taking an informed view over their polling choices.
Is it just? I mean, I know this is a crazy suggestion, but the Tories have been through 5 leaders, or burnt through 5, as Keir Starmer puts it. Is it, if you're a Conservative MP, and I know we've in the election campaign, we haven't launched the manifestos yet. Would you go to him and say, this is such a big mistake, you need to stand down today?
No, definitely not. But one of the things that polling has shown, and forget what your political allegiances are, is that one of the things that switches people off more than anything is division, is internal division within a party when there's infighting. And I think that would be absolutely the death knell. This was wrong what Rishi Sunak did. I mean, he's obviously got an overburdened timetable. He's doing as many interviews as possible in the run-up to the election. And somebody got the diary completely wrong. And whether he should have vetoed it sooner, it was all wrong.
Jess, what do you think?
Yeah, I think also it's reflective. We've seen a lot with the Conservative Party in this campaign have been putting a lot of policies out there that they'll help pensioners. It's the exact age group that he actually wants to be helping and drawing in that he's abandoned. So again, it doesn't really reflect well when he's trying to get their votes. And for me, I've been to Normandy. I've cycled there with Help for Heroes, a charity, a few years ago, and been on Omaha beaches. And it is a really humbling experience. And I think as a Prime Minister, dip out of that early is just not a good look and disrespectful.
It seems odd, and I think if you're him, you'd probably fire the diary person who put the two together, because that won't have been his decision. But it makes me think of Paula Vennells a bit, where you've got somebody who's in charge, but they're not properly seeing what's going on. So he doesn't. When someone says, "Oh, by the way, after the British bit, we're taking you back to do the ITV interview," he needs to say, "No, you're not." But he's carried along with it. Just to remind you of how moving it was yesterday, and I was in Portsmouth, by the way, on the radio, so we had an amazing time there. The actor Martin Freeman in Normandy read the words of veteran Joe Mines, who was attending a commemoration for the first time.
So why would I come back? Well, this is the last and only opportunity for me. The last there will ever be. And it's because of the lads. I want to pay my respects to those who didn't make it. May they rest in peace.
Okay. We had Keir Starmer there, so we can have a look. I think Starmer was there, so he was, I guess, able to. I won't even say take advantage. It's not political, is it? That's the thing. I mean, in the end, you're there to pay tribute. It's nothing to do. It shouldn't be anything to do with the election campaign at all. And it may be actually Ed Davey, as the Lib Dem leader, has made a bit of a mistake going electoral on D-Day, because it's not supposed to be that moment.
Definitely.
If you want to call us on this, if you think this is important or you think it's just a load of old rubbish and D-Day is the important thing here. The politics is the rubbish. And we shouldn't even be talking about it. You get in touch. We can move on quickly if you want us to. Graham in Glasgow, what do you think of what Rishi Sunak did?
I found it amazingly disrespectful.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling. There isn't a veteran or serving member of the armed forces who wouldn't be honoured to be there.
Well, I should
quite
clarify.
upset
When I said a load of old rubbish, I'm referring to what the politicians do every day, which is sort of campaigning and electioneering. Because the key thing is those veterans, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it should be honoured to be walking in their shadows.
Yeah.
I've met plenty of politicians when they're doing things for armed forces, and it's always turning out to be a photo shoot. That's what he did. It was just a photo shoot. It was incredibly disrespectful.
We'll thank you very much, Graham. We could see Joe Biden, I think, because along with other leaders, he was taking his place. And people were saying that his presence, there he is, obviously in the sunglasses, reaching out to touch one of the veterans there, moving past them, with Macron, and also Trudeau in the line as well. And yeah, I mean, sort of, again with Biden, it will be, I'm sure, the last time he attends an event on this scale for D-Day. So I was doing a radio program, as I mentioned, in Portsmouth, and I met David Eisenhower. And David Eisenhower is the grandson of Dwight Eisenhower, who was the Supreme Commander of Operation Overlord, who was in Portsmouth on the day. And David has become a great sort of historian about the whole day and is an amazing fount of knowledge. And we were talking about American politics. And I said to David, yeah, because then it all went wrong, didn't it? Because you had, your dad was president, your granddad, and then Kennedy, and then it all went wrong with Nixon. And he said, well, this is Nixon's daughter here. So he's married to Richard Nixon's daughter, who was standing in the conversation, Julie Nixon. So I said, oh my goodness, I didn't mean to mention Watergate. And I felt this is the most mad encounter
great pillow talk
in the Portsmouth Sun yesterday. But D-Day brings these people together because it's bigger than all of them. And if I can, I'm going to play a little clip here of a lovely choir that I had the delight of listening to yesterday. So they're known as the Portsmouth Military Wives Choir. I think they're singing either tonight or tomorrow in the Portsmouth area if you want to go and catch them. They were just wonderful to listen to. Have a listen.
Keep the home fires burning while your hearts are yearning. Though your lads are far away, they dream of home. There's a silver lining through the dark cloud shining. Turn the dark clouds inside out till the boys come home.
So they did a lovely medley, White Cliffs of Dover, We'll Meet Again, all of it. Does it? I mean, I know you're the youngest here, right? But I wasn't around for it either. But it makes me feel incredibly emotional.
It is emotional, yeah. I mean, I come from a family of veterans. My dad was in the RAF. My granddad was in the Navy. My dad is a mentor for veterans now. So I'm very well, educated on it and really respectful of it. So it is, and I think it's important that we remember it, especially. It's
a shame. I think we'll move on after the break and talk about the tax thing, because it's almost a shame to have the election come anywhere near yesterday. Even to discuss, should he have gone, should he not have gone? It just seems a bit tasteless, really. To be overtaken, absolutely it does, politics. But then again, it is an important part of it in the sense that prime ministers, world leaders from across the world were there and ours left early, so...